Hey guys, today I'm a little sick, but I am going to be showing you Wave 2 of the Team Fortress 2 action figures. Now if you remember, last time I previously reviewed the Pyro and the Demo Man, and you can check out that video here. But today I am going to show you the Soldier and the Heavy. Hopefully they've learned their lessons since the last wave of figures. There were some issues, if you remember, with the Pyro and positioning him. But let's check these out. Let's do the Heavy first. Now, first off, just like the previous ones, it looks like they did a good job staying on model with the actual in-game models of the characters. So it comes with Sasha, like I guess 2 extra hands for positioning. In-game item like the previous ones as well. A little paragraph about himself. Okay. Now this card is going to have the code on it. I don't know what the item is. Let's see. So he looks pretty awesome. Very heavy. I mean, okay, that's obviously not intended, but he's a very heavy figure compared to the previous one, so that's a good sign. Get these things off of him. He feels a lot better put together than the previous ones. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. Oh god, these joints though. For whatever random reason, you can rotate his arm independent of his sleeve, which doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. You'd think that should be one thing. At a certain point, it's not even lining up with the sleeve anymore. But whatever. The elbow joint is really stiff, so you may just have to kind of do this a bit, kind of loosen it up. I guess there's like too much paint or something, because there's these little paint chips coming out when I'm doing this on this elbow, so there might be some stuff stuck on your joints when you get yours, if you get yours. He's got a lot better range with his arms than the previous guys. It looks like his ammo belt is a soft rubber, and it is stuck to the very top of his shoulder. However, this is flexible, which is good. The only problem I see here is that his only joint for his midsection is all the way in his stomach down here. So you're not going to be able to arch him or do anything really crazy with any of his upper body positions. So that kind of sucks, but at least there's some kind of joint here where you can get some good rotation here, for example. That's good. The hips seem to be an issue with a lot of these figures. Maybe they just haven't worked it out yet, or they decided they didn't want to bother. But there's a similar problem here that there kind of was with the Pyro, where I can't really rotate his leg up very high, which is disappointing. They've tried to keep, you know, the general model shape of his weird little pants, you know, the stylized shape. So what you'll notice is that you may be fighting this joint a bit because it has a very distinct kind of curve here. So if you did this, for example, okay, I'll take it back. You can bend it pretty decently. It's not that bad. It's definitely better than the Pyro. However, up here though, I'm not going to take it back because you can rotate, but it's very difficult to force this up higher than here. So that kind of sucks. Face isn't bad. Looks like the Heavy. They gave him some like really bright blue eyes, which is, it looks a little funny. But overall, good head shape. Looks like him. Not much else to say about that. Let's see here. Okay, so here's the shotgun. Ah, Sasha. As I said, good weight to it. Well modeled. Looks just like it. It's not like you're gonna get, I don't think there's anything additional you can do with this, really, than just sticking it on him. You also get his extra hands, which they look like maybe kind of pointy hands, or, you know, for gesturing rather than holding. But they could actually be for holding the shotgun, perhaps. So let's try some poses and see what happens. Okay, so with Sasha, here's kind of his average pose. One thing you're going to notice is, like a lot of other figures where you have heavy items, it's going to be kind of interesting finding that balance of him standing and not falling down. One thing that is going to suck for anybody that wants to pose with Sasha is that his fingers are hard. They're not like soft rubber type fingers, so you're going to be kind of struggling with it, hopefully not breaking it, trying to get the plastic pieces of Sasha's handles around his very firm grip fingers. let's check out his other fingers and the shotgun. Alright, well, here's a massive fail, and this is related to that issue earlier. Remember when I was saying that there's a lot of paint in the joints? For whatever reason, the fucking ball joint that is connected to the hands won't come out of his default hands. I'm guessing it's probably because of whatever painting that they did. This thing is stuck in there. I'm using pliers. I'm trying to you know, grab these and yank them out, and they're not coming out, and I don't want to damage this joint, so I'm going to end up just kind of reattaching these. It would have been better maybe if they had attached a ball joint to this hand as well, instead of just leaving it an empty, you know, hole. There shouldn't be like this and this ideally should be one item, instead of having this easily pop out of this fucking wrist socket and creating this sort of problem. So back to default pose this goes. Okay, that's a little disappointing about at least my heavy that I received, but it seems like NECA kind of has kind of a bit of a quality control issue with a lot of their figures, so it's not really anything new, unfortunately. But let's hope that the soldier, you know, has some better aspects to it. So just like him, he's got the little paragraph about himself. The soldier's my favorite, so let's hope they don't fuck this one up, huh? Let's see what he's about. He also has the card that on the back has a code for an in-game item, most likely a hat. He actually, that's weird. He's got 3 hands, which look very similar to his existing fists, but I guess different enough so that they can actually hold something, because these are pretty closed fists. They're not gonna be holding anything except anger. What's interesting about these ones is that they're like what I was talking about before, where they have the joint actually connected to each hand, which is good. Unlike the heavy, who for some reason has just an empty socket instead of a joint. Okay. So, soldier, let's see if his hat comes off. Oh, it doesn't come off! I was totally hoping it came off so you could see his little buzz cut, but it doesn't, but that's okay. You could still see his intense little gaze underneath there. I'm tempted to try to see if this comes off, but I want to break it. He's got his grenades. This is soft, which is good. So if you wanted to do any poses, this is weird. It's the same thing with the demo man, and the pyro man, the demo and the pyro comparisons, where demo also you could do more movement with the leg, and that was great. But for whatever reason, you couldn't with the pyro. And we're coming in the same situation now with the heavy and the soldier, where with the heavy, you can't really rotate his leg up that high, but with the soldier, you can. I'm not sure why. The soldier also seems to have a bit more looseness with his ankle joint. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing yet. I guess we'll find out when we pose it. This, oh wow, okay, that looks a little weird. This one does have more movement in it. For whatever reason, this one does not. I don't know why. Like I said, the quality control, maybe I just got a version where, you know, this is inconsistent. I don't know. With these joints, oh gosh, this joint is super stiff. So you may have to just mess with it for a while until you kind of loosen them up a bit so that they can be a bit more bendy and give you what you want. What's weird here, again, with inconsistency, this leg, oh my god, I can't rotate this leg up as much as this one. Why? Why is that different? It should be exactly the same. I'm not sure why. It doesn't want to stay in that position. It does the same weird thing here with the shoulder having a distinction here for you to rotate instead of being closer to like the actual joint here. But because see, like for example, that ends up looking a little weird. But you do get the ball joint here where you can rotate his whole arm all the way up and down, which is good. Let's see here. Bit rough, but you get a decent rotation in the elbow. He, for whatever reason, has a huge ass, very obvious rotation joint right here for his chest. Let's see how good this is. Now see, the downside here is that, yes, you do get a good rotation here, But now the soldier, unlike the heavy, cannot rotate his hips here. Or his torso, I mean. So instead of being able, like the heavy could, you know, rotate this way and that way, soldier can't do that. He can only go up and down. He can't go left and right, which is kind of disappointing. Let's do a little test with his rocket launcher and see how he stands and behaves. We got his accessories here. Yeah, there we go. You got his shovel. And you got his trademark missile launcher, which looks about right. Now it looks like the soldier passes the standing test with a little bit of difficulty from some of his ankle joints. For whatever reason, it feels like his legs or his feet kind of want to go inwards like this sometimes. Oh, never mind, it failed. Okay, no, but seriously, it's doable. It's just that he's very top heavy compared to, you know, the heavy. So it's going to be trickier to get these weird little inward shaping feet of his to properly stand up straight. This time around, for whatever reason, the paint jobs are really hindering a lot of these figures, because every time I'm taking out joints for the hands and stuff, it's flaking off this paint, or I'm trying to move around just the regular joints, you get all this flaky paint. Honestly, they're about 20 bucks a piece. If it was any more than that, I would be saying, like, where is the quality control? But it's still within the realm that you can kind of say, like, well, how often do you get a TF2 figure? You know, they're kind of cool because you could get the whole set. So I'll still be buying a lot of these, but I'm just kind of disappointed in NECA in general. Like, I think they could have done better, or maybe other companies could have done better. And these guys are just okay. There you have it. The heavy and the soldier. Good figures, not great figures. And they have a bunch of issues that I've already discussed, but I think if you're a TF2 fan, you're probably going to want these just because, you know, it's so hard to find good Valve merchandise. I believe the next set will eventually be the Engineer and the Spy. At least I've seen the work in progress models for those, so I'm assuming those are next. So I'll be doing unboxings whenever those come out. I'm going to also have more unboxings in the future. And thanks for watching.